Welcome to Tools and Technology for Students, a podcast from the Liberal Studies program at the University of Illinois at Springfield.
This is Andy Ageezy, Liberal Studies Program Coordinator. Spring registration is just around the corner. It starts first full week of November, so this time I wanted to talk about the online schedule and to kind of give you an idea of how to read it. Not just some of the obvious ways, but maybe some of the ways you can interpret the information you see there as well. I realize that it might seem strange to try to tell you how to use the schedule, but I promise you, as I've been researching and preparing for this podcast, I've learned things about the schedule that I didn't realize as well. So there are some ways to read between the lines, if you will. The first thing I'd like you to realize is that there's a schedule and there's a catalog, and they look remarkably alike, so it's important to know which one you're looking at. Now, if you were to go to the main UIS webpage and you look under the admissions heading, you're going to see catalog as a link. And if you look under academics, you're going to see schedule as the link. So it's important to know which one you're looking at. If you go to catalog and you scroll down a bit, you'll see course descriptions. If you click there, you'll go to this page, which looks pretty familiar. You pick a semester and you hit submit. And you're going to see something that looks a whole lot like the schedule, but it's not the schedule, it's just the courses. This is everything that UIS offers. Now, if you go to the schedule, you click on it, you'll click on View the Dynamic Course Schedule, and you're going to come to a page that looks just like the catalog. You'll pick a semester, you'll hit Submit, and you read something that looks pretty similar. Now, the difference here is that this is not the catalog. The catalog, again, contains all UIS courses. It's a record of everything we offer. The schedule is just a subset of the catalog showing just what we're currently offering that semester. As you use the schedule page, it's probably obvious to you. You click on a subject. If you go under session, you can find online as an option. You click on that, you hit search, and by doing that, you get, in this case, all the accounting courses that are online. But if you didn't realize, you can also hold down the control key and click a variety of things. And this allows you to pick multiple categories to search as well. So now we have everything there. One other thing, if you hold down the shift key instead of the control key, you can click a range of classes. So they have to be connected. So you could click an entire block, and in truth, you could click everything at UIS and pick all of the categories so that when you hit search, you're looking for all of the online courses all in one search. Easier for online students. I actually do this every semester, and I put together a version of the schedule specifically for the online liberal studies majors. What I include in this schedule are all the classes that LIS majors are most likely to take. So for example, I'm not listing graduate level courses, and I'm not listing courses that are available only to specific majors, things that you're probably not going to be able to get in no matter how hard you try. I don't list courses that have prerequisites that are so specific to a discipline that it's unlikely that the typical student would have it. So, for example, you're not going to see really high-level biology courses or really high-level math courses or things like that. If you've been in the program for a while, you know that I always send this link out to you, but I've been linking it on the main UIS webpage. So if you go there, you'll see the link there. And each of these courses actually links back to the actual schedule. So whether you're using the actual schedule or my version of the schedule, you're always going to be interacting with the same data. And that's what I want to talk about for the most part here, is how to understand that data. If you look at this, you'll see a typical class. This is Internet and American Life. And look under the reference to seats. You're going to see three different numbers here. You're going to see capacity, which is the number of possible students that can enroll in the class. You're going to see actual, which is the number of students who are currently enrolled in the class. And you're going to see remaining, which is how many seats are still available to students. This is all live data. So when you're looking at this, you're actually seeing the current enrollment patterns. As long as these are the only numbers listed, it's pretty easy to understand whether a class is open or closed. But some classes are cross-listed, so it's not always so easy to understand. Cross-listing is a way to allow students from two different majors to enroll in the same class and have it apply to their individual degree requirements. So for example, Memoirs Across Cultures is actually an English course that's cross-listed as LIS 460. So this allows English majors to take it and apply it towards an English degree, and for LIS majors to take it and to apply it to the 4 hours of programming electives that everyone has to take. When a course is cross-listed, you have to look at both the seats and the cross-list seats to know if a class is open or closed. Seats will always reflect the number of seats in that particular section. So for example, only in the English section or only in the LIS section. But the cross-list seats reflects the spaces that are remaining in both of those sections. So in this case, it appears that there's 3 seats remaining in the LIS 460 section, but if you look at the cross-list seats, you'll see that there's only 1 remaining in both of the sections combined. So no matter what section you're in, English or LIS, only 1 more student is available to get in that class, even though this one shows there to be 3 seats, and even though the English one shows there to be 8 seats. Some classes will require you to be part of a specific population of students in order to register, or they might require you to ask for permission to enroll in that class. You should be able to see if a class is restricted to a particular population. A class might be restricted to a specific major or to students with a certain class standing, so for example, only freshmen. Or you can see in this example, this class is restricted to students who are enrolled in online degree programs only. So all other students are locked out of this class, but any online degree program student can get into the class. Restrictions can actually work in the opposite way as well. So for example, a class could be restricted to everyone except freshmen. It's usually pretty obvious if a course requires permission to enroll. You can see it's usually in the schedule. In these cases, once all of the permissions have been granted, the person who's providing those permissions will probably start a wait list in case someone were to drop out of that class or someone was to not follow through and actually enroll once they had permission. Since permission requires a human being to determine who's going to enroll or who's not going to be able to enroll, the student system, the registration system, leaves it up to an actual human being to create that wait list. If a class doesn't require permission though, and if a faculty member requests it, the system actually has the ability to keep a wait list itself. In these cases, when the remaining seats equals 0, a student who's trying to enroll in that class will be offered a seat on the wait list instead. In this case, there are 20 seats on the wait list, and 4 people have enrolled to be on the wait list. If there's even 1 person on the wait list, a student would have to be one of those people on the wait list in order to get into a class that might open up. So in this case, there's 1 seat open, but it's only open to the 4 students who are actually on the wait list. Students are not automatically moved from the wait list to being enrolled, since this would actually obligate them to pay for tuition without having had the opportunity to say no thank you. And a lot of students make other plans. So it's up to the program to discover when a space opens up in a class with a wait list and to contact the students on the wait list to try to fill the space. Now, obviously, this is a pretty easy thing to do, but only if you have the time to monitor that class 24 hours a day. And as we get closer to the start of the semester, it gets busier and busier and harder for a program to do this. So if you're on a wait list and you discover that a seat opens up, I would encourage you to contact the program. Alerting them to the fact that a seat is opened up may encourage them to say, okay, I'll give that seat to you since you were the person who was kind enough to tell me. Electronic wait lists usually have room for about 5 students, since their purpose is just to keep enough people in place to fill gaps. So have a couple people there to fill a gap, someone drops, you fill it, you leave room for someone else to come in and join the wait list in case someone else was to drop. In this case, the wait list is 20 students, and this is actually not an everyday occurrence. If you see a really large wait list like this, it's likely that the instructor is trying to gauge whether or not there's enough interest in the class to open up a brand new section of the course. So if you get a chance to be on a large wait list, there's a fairly good chance, if the wait list gets filled, that a brand new section of the class will be opened up and you'll be one of the first students to have a chance to enroll. Of course, with all these options, there's a chance that all of them will kind of relate to one particular class. So here's an example. You've got a class that you can see how many seats are available to it. You can see how many cross-listed seats are available, how many wait-listed seats. You can even see that it is restricted to liberal studies majors only. So this can get confusing. So in summary, if you see only seats, look to see if there's remaining seats. If you see seats and cross-list seats, realize that the number of remaining cross-list seats is actually the number of remaining seats for all sections of that class. And if you see a wait list, do your best to get on the class, and then maybe monitor that class to see if someone drops, and the minute they do, contact the program and let them know that someone's dropped the class. That's it for now. Don't forget that as of November 1st, you can check your time ticket. Remember, you have to check your time ticket. It's a required function of the registration system, and your time ticket is the earliest possible moment that you can register. And for online students, you always have to register at the earliest possible moment if you want to have the most success in getting the classes you want. Until next time, keep learning and have a good time.